Hello friends, myself Komal Talishra Walde from RBNB College, Shrirampur, District Ahmednagar. Today we are going to discuss the topic mitochondria and plastid. This topic from the cell structure and its organization chapter from 11th biology. First we discussed about mitochondria. We are going to discuss about the mitochondria. The mitochondria is one of the important cell organelles. In the typical cell, the mitochondria is important cell organelles which involve in the aerobic respiration. It is present in the all eukaryotic cell. It is absent in the prokaryotic cell. Again, it is absent in the RBCs. Means in the red blood corpuscles, the mitochondria is absent. The shape of the mitochondria may be oval or spherical in shape. It is double membrane bounded organelle. The mitochondria is double membrane bounded organelle having two membranes, the outer membrane and inner membrane. The outer membrane is permeable in nature because it transports the various metabolites due to the protein porine elements, or we can say that the protein porine particles. Inner membrane is selectively permeable. Inner membrane is selectively permeable to the few substances only. Both membrane are separated. Both membrane, the inner membrane and outer membrane, are separated from each other by the space out chamber. It is the space out chamber. Both membranes are separated. Inner membrane show several finger-like projection or finger-like plate, or we can say that the foldings. There is inner membrane of the mitochondria having the folding-like structure which is known as the cristae. It is folding-like, the plate-like foldings are present in the inner membrane which is known as the cristae, and these cristae bears a numerous particles. It bears a numerous particles which is known as the oxysome, or it is also known as F1 particles. The F1 particles is also known as the oxysome, and these oxysome present in the cristae. Again, the inner membrane encloses a cavity that is known as the inner chamber. These contain the fluid matrix, in which fluid matrix is present. Inside the cristae there is the fluid matrix is present, and this matrix consists the DNA, RNA, 70S type of the ribosome and lipids and other enzymes also, means various enzymes which take part in the Krebs cycle. These are present in the matrix of the mitochondria. Along with the DNA, RNA and 70S type of the ribosome, there is the presence of lipid and the various enzymes. Again, the cristae, that folding projection which is known as the cristae, it bear a lollipop-like structure which is known as the oxysome or the F1 particles. These oxysome or F1 particles is also known as elementary particles, or it is also known as the mitochondrial particles. These are known as the mitochondrial particles also, and each particle consists the head, stalk and the foot, or we can say that the head, pedicel or foot is also known as the base. This structure of the lollipop size, it is known as the oxysome, and it is present in the cristae. The head faces towards the membrane, and these are freely, the head is freely in nature, means the head is present in the free, means it acts as an enzyme for the ATP synthesis, but the foot as a proton channel, and this foot is embedded in the cristae. The oxysome, foot of the oxysome is embedded in the cristae, but the head of that F1 particles is free, and this head acts as a enzyme of ATP synthesis, while foot as a proton channel. The oxysome are involved in the proton pumping, and it is also involved in the ATP synthesis. The function of that F1 particles or function of that mitochondria, it synthesizes the ATP molecule. That's why the mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. It is also known as the powerhouse of the cell because it synthesizes the ATP molecule, and which is energy required molecule of the cell, and it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Again, the mitochondria having the another function, it convert the pyruvate acid into the carbon dioxide and water molecule. Mitochondria can convert pyruvic acid into CO2 and H2O during the aerobic respiration, and the mitochondria are known as powerhouse of the cell because why? It also produce ATP molecule during the cellular respiration. That's why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Now we are moving our next topic, that is the plastid. Like the mitochondria, the plastid also double membrane cell organelles. We are clearly seen that there is the outer membrane and inner membrane. It is also double membrane structure or double walled organelles containing DNA, RNA and 70S type of the ribosome, but they are larger in size. They are larger in size enough to, it is clearly seen under the electron microscope. It is clearly seen under the light microscope. Now, means under the light microscope, we have clearly studied the structure of plastids. The plastids are known as the color pigment. The plastid known as the color pigments. According to the different colors, they are three types. The plastids are three types according to the pigment present in it. The first one is the leucoplast, second one is chromoplast, and third one is the chloroplast. The leucoplast do not contain any pigment. The leucoplast do not contain any pigments. That's why it is colorless plastid. The leucoplast is the colorless plastic. They are various shape. They are of various shape and sizes. These are the function of that leucoplast is the storage of nutrients. They are colorless pigment or colorless plastid because there is the no pigment is present, and that's why the function of that leucoplast is the storage of nutrients. So there are amyloplast which store the starch, again the alluroplast which store the protein, and these are the examples of the leucoplast. The second colored pigment is known as the chromoplast. The chromoplast, second plastid which contain the pigment carotene and xanthophyll. The chromoplast plastid having the carotene and xanthophyll pigments. They provide the various ranges of the color. Yellow, orange and red color provide the chromoplast because it contains the carotene pigment. The petals of the flower as well as fruit is colorful because there is the presence of chromoplast. It provides the color. Again, this xanthophyll which provide in some plants, it provides the purple color which is present in the nitrogen fixation bacteria, or it is present in the bacteria. Now, the leucoplast and chromoplast, both plastid, does not involve in the process of photosynthesis, because the green colored pigment chlorophyll is absent in the leucoplast as well as in the chromoplast, but the green colored pigment is present in the chloroplast. Now we moving on our third type of the plastid, that is the chloroplast, which is very essential type of the plastid containing the chlorophyll pigment. That's why the chloroplast is green in color and it helps in the process of photosynthesis, or we can say that it take part in the process of photosynthesis. The structure of the chloroplast, again, it is double walled structure. The chloroplast are double walled structure. The outer membrane and inner membrane are present in the chloroplast. It is again the double walled membrane is present, outer membrane and inner membrane. Inside the inner membrane there is the colloid matrix is present, and this matrix is known as the stroma. The matrix which is present inside the chloroplast is known as the stroma, and in the stroma there is thylakoids are present, and these thylakoids are arranged in the disc-like manner. This disc-like structure are clearly seen in the stroma of the chloroplast. This disc-like structure is known as the grana. The grana is the disc-like structure which is green in color and which is take part in the photosynthesis. This grana is singular is known as the granum, and this group of the disc is known as the grana. The grana are attached to the one another. These grana are attached to the one another by the lamellae, by this lamellae which is known as the stroma lamellae. Along with the stroma and the stroma lamellae or the grana, in the chloroplast there is also DNA present. There is the DNA, again granular ribosome also present in the matrix, or in the chloroplastic matrix there is the presence of DNA as well as the ribosome also present in the structure of chroma, which take part. Again the chlorophyll pigment is also present, having the enzymes which take part in the production of sugar by the process of photosynthesis. The stroma, there is the space is present which is known as the difference enzyme, and these enzymes are essential for the process of the photosynthesis, and this chloroplast containing the chlorophyll pigment, or it is a green pigment, that's why it takes part in the process of the photosynthesis. And along with the grana or along with the stroma there is also contain, means chloroplast also contain the DNA, RNA and ribosome, and it is the again colored pigment which helps in the process of photosynthesis. So today we are studied the mitochondria, which is present in the all eukaryotic cell, and the second topic second cell organelles is the plastid, which is present in the all plants, leucoplast, chromoplast and the chloroplast. Chloroplast present in the all green plants. Along with the green plants, it is present is the ribbon-like chloroplast is present in the Spirogara. It is present in the algae, and the few protista like Euglena is also contain the chloroplast. So these are the structure of mitochondria and plastids, having the three type of plastids: leucoplast, colorless in structure; chromoplast, which it is varies yellow, orange and red in color; and last one is the chloroplast, that is the green colored plastid. Thank you.